Open your laptop on Monday morning. Before you answer a single email, the software has already summarized your inbox. It points out which messages need a reply, drafts 2 of those replies, turns last week's meeting into a list of tasks, and builds the first version of a presentation you have not started yet. 10 minutes ago, all of that counted as work. Now it looks like a button. The strange part is that you still have the same job title. Your name is still in the company directory. Your calendar is still full. Nobody has replaced you. Yet a piece of the job disappeared before breakfast. This is how office work may change. Probably not with a robot walking into the building and taking someone's chair. It will happen one task at a time, quietly enough that most people will call it productivity until they notice fewer people are needed. So, which jobs does AI come for first? The obvious answer is repetitive work, but that answer is too simple. Modern office jobs are rarely one thing. A job is a bundle of small tasks held together by a title. Reading, writing, searching, comparing, scheduling, checking, explaining, updating, organizing, and following up. AI does not need to master the entire bundle. It only needs to remove enough pieces that the company starts asking whether the same work could be done by a smaller team. To understand why office jobs are exposed, go back to the first machines that changed work. Early machines mostly replaced muscle. They lifted, cut, pressed, carried, and produced physical goods faster than a person could. Factory work changed because machines could repeat the same movement without getting tired. Office work seemed different. It lived in words, numbers, judgment, meetings, and decisions. A machine could stamp metal, but it could not write a careful email to a client. It could move a box, but it could not read a contract, summarize a report, or explain why sales dropped last month. The office became the safer side of the economy. Physical work could be automated, while thinking work appeared protected. Then computers arrived, but even computers mostly waited for instructions. A spreadsheet could calculate faster than a person, but someone still had to decide what to calculate. Email moved messages instantly, but a person still had to write them. Search engines found information, but a person had to read the results and turn them into an answer. Software made office workers faster without doing much of the work on its own. That helped create more office jobs, not fewer. Companies produced more documents, more analysis, more presentations, more communication, and more layers of management because digital tools made all of it easier to create. AI changes the relationship because it can take a messy instruction and return something that looks like finished work. Ask for a summary and it writes one. Give it notes and it drafts a plan. Upload a spreadsheet and it looks for patterns. Describe a presentation and it builds an outline. The result is not always correct, and someone still needs to check it. But the first draft used to be where a large part of the labor lived. Now the first draft can appear in seconds. That matters because many office jobs spend most of the day creating first versions. The first email, the first report, the first schedule, the first design, the first analysis, the first set of meeting notes. People imagine automation as a machine completing everything perfectly. Companies do not always need that. If AI completes 70% of a task and a worker fixes the remaining 30%, the task may still take half the time. Do that across an entire department and the math begins to change. One coordinator can manage more clients. One analyst can review more accounts. One marketer can produce more campaigns. One manager can oversee a larger team. At first, the company may not fire anyone. It may simply stop hiring. Someone leaves and the position stays empty. An internship disappears. A junior opening gets delayed. A team of 8 becomes a team of 6 through normal turnover, and the software absorbs enough work that customers barely notice. This is why the first effects can be hard to see. There may be no dramatic announcement. The missing jobs are often the ones that never get posted. The people most exposed may not be experienced workers sitting in offices today. They may be the people trying to enter those offices tomorrow. Entry-level jobs have always included work that senior employees no longer want to do. Organizing files, building basic reports, taking notes, researching competitors, scheduling meetings, cleaning data, preparing drafts. That work can feel boring, but it serves another purpose. It teaches the beginner how the company works. A junior analyst learns judgment by building simple models and watching how senior people correct them. A new writer learns the audience by drafting ordinary copy. An assistant learns the business by sitting close to decisions and handling the details around them. If AI takes the beginner work, companies may save money while accidentally removing the first rung of the ladder. Senior workers become more productive because they can hand basic tasks to software. New workers are then expected to arrive with judgment they never had the chance to build. This creates a strange problem. The people best positioned to benefit from AI are often the people who already understand the work. They know when the answer looks wrong. They can tell which details matter. They can give better instructions because they have years of context in their heads. The beginner sees a polished answer and may not know what is missing. AI can make an expert faster, but it can also make an inexperienced person confidently wrong. Companies will still want human judgment, but they may become less willing to pay for the years it takes to develop it. Then expectations change. Every major workplace tool begins as an advantage and ends as a requirement. Email was once faster than sending paper. Eventually, people were expected to answer more messages. Spreadsheets made calculations easier, so companies asked for more analysis. Smartphones made workers reachable, so the workday quietly stretched beyond the office. AI may follow the same path. At first, it saves an hour. Then everyone is expected to produce an extra hour of work. The person using AI finishes faster, so the deadline moves closer. The team creates twice as much material, so management starts treating twice as much as normal. Productivity does not always return time to the worker. Sometimes it raises the minimum amount of work needed to look productive. This is why the safest response is not simply learning a few prompts. Prompting matters, but the tool will keep getting easier. The more important question is what part of your work remains valuable after the first draft becomes cheap. Maybe it is knowing the client well enough to hear what they are not saying. Maybe it is taking responsibility when a decision goes wrong. Maybe it is noticing that the numbers look fine while the people doing the work are exhausted. Maybe it is persuading a room, calming an angry customer, choosing between two imperfect options, or understanding the history behind a problem. Those parts are harder to automate because they depend on trust, context, consequences, and relationships. Still, even those skills may not protect every job title. A company can keep the work that requires humans while removing much of the work around it. The lawyer may remain, but fewer people prepare the first research memo. The manager may remain, but fewer coordinators build the weekly update. The designer may remain, but fewer junior employees create early concepts. The salesperson may remain, but software writes the follow-ups and updates the system. AI does not need to become the best employee in the building. It only needs to become good enough at enough tasks that the building needs fewer employees. Office jobs are especially vulnerable because so much of the work already lives in digital form. Emails, documents, tickets, spreadsheets, slide decks, recordings, messages, and databases can be given to software without building a robot body. A machine replacing a plumber needs hands, tools, balance, vision, and the ability to work inside a different building every day. A machine helping with an office job may only need permission to read the files. That does not mean every office worker disappears. People will still hire other people because trust matters. Customers want someone accountable. Teams need leadership. Businesses face situations that do not fit a clean pattern. The future will probably be uneven. Some jobs will grow, some will shrink, and many will keep the same title while the daily work changes underneath them. That last group may be the largest. A person might stay employed but spend less time producing and more time reviewing what software produced. Another might manage automated systems instead of doing the task directly. Someone else may be expected to do the work that once required 3 people, with no 3-person raise attached. Come back to Monday morning. The inbox is summarized. The replies are drafted. The meeting is turned into tasks. The presentation already has an outline. You are still sitting in the same chair, but the company has learned that part of your job can happen without you. The question is no longer whether AI can do everything you do. It does not need to. The real question is how much of your job can disappear before the company decides the rest should belong to someone else. Your job may not vanish in one dramatic moment. It may disappear in pieces until the title is the last thing left.